Jeff, how's practice today?
Beautiful. Central Florida's got a great facility. Had two really beautiful grass fields. We're playing on grass fields, so it was really nice of Gus to let us come over there and do that. And SJ2, he set all that up for us, so appreciate him doing that for us.
We were just talking with two of the guys who were getting ready for their last game here. Do you at any point this week take time to reflect on some of these memories or anything that sticks out? Is that part of this process for you?
Yeah, we do. We let 9 of our guys today speak before the team meeting, and tomorrow 5 more will speak. You know, today's their last practice, and tomorrow's their last walk. So we do. You know, when you're old like me and you tell them it goes by fast, they just like, oh, he's an old man talking. And then when it gets to the end and they know it's over, you know, they're like, man, this went by fast.
Do you sense in that group that there's still a big emphasis on being able to go out with a win Friday, that's a big part of this for them?
I think last year's group did too when the time came. It's just there's so much more to it before. You know, there's academic requirements. You got to pass all your classes, and that's where we really struggled last year. We had a few opt-outs as well, plus we had COVID. So I don't think it was any different as far as the week prep or the 2-week prep. I think the biggest difference is this group in August made their mind up that they were going to come to a bowl game as good as we can. And obviously we didn't know we were going to be this injured and be this shorthanded. But I know that like a lot of these seniors that have already graduated, you put yourself in their shoes. You're 22 years old, 23. You can play a whole season, not have to go to one class, and your only punishment is you miss one game. You get to play 13 games, but your only punishment is you miss one game. I'm glad I wasn't ever tempted like that as a young man. That's a big temptation. And I know nobody wants to hear that, but not all of them are like Kalechi and Brendan and Frank. And like they enjoy class. There's some guys that are here to play football, and that's what makes them go to class, which is what's so great about the game of football. If you use it correctly, you can motivate guys. I doubt I was very motivated back in the day. I just did it to, you know, where I could play. And when you get older, you're like, man, I'm glad I got those degrees.
We were just talking with Maka about his connection with Frank. How have you seen that develop through the years? What's their dynamic like?
Like two brothers. I mean, him and Frank fuss and argue as much as him and Rashad, and it was Frank and Rashad. So, you know, there's a unique bond there with a center and a quarterback. I know we're not under center very much, but you know, it's a unique bond. You're awful close to the quarterback and the center, especially when you're running quarterback sneaks and he's protecting you, and they're extremely close.
They both said that people probably think they hate each other. Like, what are those things that they're getting into it about?
They just always own each other. They always make fun of each other. And yeah, Frank's the ultimate. Frank's an old soul as far as doing the right things, but he's a kid at heart. I mean, Frank's always just joking with somebody, and Maka and Rashad are the two that give it back to him the most.
Coach, I don't know the proper term here, but are any stress or anxiety at all to get this bowl win in particular, you know, for the guys who are done with the program?
I just think it'd be great momentum going into next year. Somebody, you know, unfortunately, when you're a G5 team, which I even hate that term, whoever loses this game, I doubt they'll lose in the top 25. So it is what it is, even though there's two champions playing each other. So whoever wins will be moving to the next season with some more momentum than the other program, obviously. But other than that, no. We've already had a fantastic season. We're back-to-back conference champions. There's tons of things. And we're not going to let one game define who we are anyway, whether we win it or lose it. But I know for perception and momentum, those things are important. I understand it, but it's not going to take away, whether we win or lose, it's not going to take away from that. So there's no more pressure as much as it'd be nice to go into the new league, you know, on an 11-game win streak.
Trevor Harmanson's last game too, and him and Jamal have played so many snaps together. Is there anything special about those two getting to go out there one last time?
You know, they're both unique in their own way. Obviously, I had such a previous relationship with Jamal that that's special. And then Trevor's just, you know, this time last year, he's one of the men that didn't make it to the bowl. He's one of the ones that didn't get it done, and he's already graduated now, and he's taking care of his grades. That's it's a big deal. I mean, Dadrian Taylor's already graduated, but he's going to be out there. At least we think they are. We haven't got the final turn. We haven't got the final step yet, but we think they're going to be out there.
What does it mean to you in the program to have Frank coming back, and then the quarterback room? Because obviously the guys behind him, I mean, they want to get out there and play.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't tell you it was an unbelievable relief because of the human that he's a really good quarterback, but man, he's just such a great young man. I mean, he took my nephew out last night to eat. It was Brendan, Frank, and Colton Traylor. I mean, who in the heck's hanging out? Not Colton Traylor, I'm sorry. For running on my own nephew's name. I have a Colton who works for me, Cole. So Cole Mike is out as an 8th grader with Frank and Brendan. I mean, I bet there are very few quarterbacks in the country that took the head coach's nephew out as an 8th grader, and he even bought his supper for him. So what a great young man. And Brendan Brady. I told Katie and Kurt, there's not 2 better people you'd want your 8th grade son to hang around than Frank Harris and Brendan Brady.
Yeah, I can see that.
Jeff, you gonna ride some roller coasters today?
I doubt it. You know, I don't even like airplanes. If I do, it'll be probably. No, I doubt I will get on one. I'll have to be shamed by my players before I would do it. And it'd be something going really fast and straight. I don't want any spinning, no upside down things. I got a lot of people counting on me, JJ. I need to stay alive, man. There's a lot of people counting on me right now.
Coach, you were nominated for your finalist for the Coach of the Year award. What does that mean to you to just even be nominated for that?
You know, I kept getting all these texts about congratulations, and I was like, what in the heck is this? And whenever your name's anywhere near Paul Bear Bryant or Eddie Robinson, that's pretty cool. I still see myself as a high school football coach from Gilmer. And to even be mentioned in the same breath with those people, that's just crazy. And again, it just shows you what a miracle ride we're all on right now. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll be honest with you. It's a reflection of my staff and my players. And none of that happens without the work of all those people. The administration that's really bought into us. You know, the city of San Antonio, that's everywhere I go, that's the one thing people say to me is like, man, your city is so behind y'all right now. Because all they do is see us on TV and hear that Alamo Dome just rocking.
Can I get your thoughts on Tariq leading all NFL cornerbacks right now in the fan voting? And then after that, Coach Kenny accepting the job with Texas State? Yeah,
well, anytime you can be just a small part of anything like that, it makes you feel proud, especially for Tariq. Such a humble young man. He loves the Roadrunners. He's all about the Roadrunners. He's my biggest recruit out there. He recruits for me all the time. So I'm really happy for Tariq. And then with GJ, you know, one of your former players, coached him in high school, obviously, and coached with him at SMU, coached with him at Arkansas, and I told him I should get a cut of all this. As many coaches as I send his way and recruits he's always asking me about, I'm going to always help him. I know nobody from UTSA wants to hear that because of the Texas State rivalry, but I even sometimes am like, man, am I sitting here helping the enemy next year, game 2, if he comes in here and beats me with all these players and coaches I've been recommended to him. He's good for the game. And I'm always going to help people that are good for the game. He's good for kids. He's good for the state of Texas. We need as many good young coaches in this business as possible. And GJ's about the kids, and I'm always for coaches that are for kids.
Jeff, I know you're focused on the bowl game, but you guys had a pretty big recruiting weekend last weekend to 1 week from signing day. How's your recruiting class shaping up?
I'm afraid we're probably going to get picked a little bit here and then. A lot of these, you know, Power 5s are lazy, and they wait and work, watch us work, and come in at the last moment and put 2 years in a kid. They just come out of nowhere and just take your kids from you. So that's the way it is with NIL nowadays. So other than that, I think we'll hold on to what we've been working on, but just how many of those big time Power 5s that have, you know, the $1 million budgets to, you know, take your kids from you. So that we'll see. That it's never, and even then, it's not over then when they sign. Hell, they could leave in January. I mean, the way it is now, there's no, every day's signing day, every day's recruiting day. So we'll see. We're working our tails off, and there are plenty of players out there. The ones that leave, they'll be calling, wishing they were back here in no time.
Jeff, did you have any connection to Mike Leach or his fingerprints on this offense at all?
Anybody that calls four verts, mesh, Y cross, that's all Hal Mummy and Mike Leach. Those are probably my favorite, guys just to listen to as far as clinic talk. They always are very open and honest. They would tell you anything you want to know about the offense. I've never seen it, but legend has it that Hal, called mesh every play of a game one time. I might just be folklore, I don't know. But so many people offer that, I just think of the people that I'm good friends with that have helped me through the years. It's I think his fingerprints on every offense. I mean, I literally said to my staff today, we should call mesh, four verts, and Y cross every play, just for Coach Leach. And he's just fascinating. I read his book, about the pirate. I read his Geronimo. It's just fascinating. I've read both those books. I would highly recommend you read those books. They're a good read. And talk about Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, there's just so many people that he affected in coaching. Graham Harrell, that it's a huge loss for our profession.
Any chance we're going to see that up and over at the 1 yard line?
We should have ran it on 4th and 1 against UTSA. Care Bear would have been happy. I would have been too. He went up. He just didn't get over.
All right, Jeff. Thanks.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Jeff,